I'm at Islands of Adventure, and all day I've been dealing with some ranting in my own head. So I'm alone here. I took the day off, and I did a road trip by myself, and I came here to spend the day. Now this is part of a bigger plan, not just spending time by myself and enjoying it, of course, but there will be a video that comes out of this. You're gonna have to wait. Amazing! But I wanted to pull the camera out and do something that I've never done before, and that's talk about a very maybe unpopular opinion. Now, having had social anxiety for the longest time ever, this is not something I've ever been comfortable with. So if you hear people screaming, that's because they're on the Hulk and they're about to come down. So yeah, what was I saying? So having had social anxiety for a long time, I tend to not get into conflict ever. Doesn't matter what it's about. I tend to just keep quiet, keep my mouth shut, and let people talk it out, be wrong, whatever. I just never get involved. And same goes with sharing some of my opinions online. I just don't think it's right sometimes to get into arguments or create tension when unnecessary, of course. But I thought, I've kept quiet on a lot of things, and I thought, let me just see what happens. Maybe it's not even an unpopular opinion. I don't know. Which is why I'm gonna actually open it at the end for you to actually let me know if you agree with me, or if I'm just really wrong. If this is just me being stupid about it. But so as I'm gonna preface it by saying that I am vaccinated. I believe COVID-19 is real. I've taken every possible precaution that's available. There's the Hulk again. And this is Harry Potter's castle right behind me, right here on my shoulder. Another thing that I've never done before is actually just talk like this, like impromptu, when there's people watching me. This is weird. But anyway, so I'm gonna preface it by saying, so I'm vaccinated. I wear masks everywhere. This is my amazing Star Wars Princess Leia mask that says that the future of the galaxy is female. Rah rah. My parents are super high risk. I have a 10-month-old, I have a 4-month-old. I've only been once to a restaurant in the past year since the pandemic started, indoors. I don't do events, I don't go to people's homes. We are being extremely careful. We haven't had it. I don't have friends that have had it that I've been in touch with. So far so good. Sure, I've been to Disney and we've been safe. That was months ago. And now I'm at Islands of Adventure. And again, the temperature is taken at the beginning. Masks are required everywhere. Hand sanitizer is handed out at the beginning of every roller coaster. So yeah, everything is fine, right? But what bothers me more than anything is when things don't make sense. When there's policies and rules in place that you think are for the greater good, that they make sense, when in fact they don't. They mess with people's experience. But I also wasted a lot of time I'm not going to get back. And that's what I've been just fuming about the whole day. Let me tell you why I'm not getting my time back and how I lost it. So the first ride that I was on today was the Hulk, and I loved this ride. I've been on it, I can't even tell you how many times. It's been like 20 years in the making. This is my all-time favorite ride, so I was excited. The wait the wait time for it was 80 minutes. I was like, you know what, it's fine. It's the first ride of the day, I'll wait. And as I'm waiting, so I thought initially when I came here that I, as a single rider, I would have priority or whatever. There's usually a line for single riders only, but there wasn't this time. I asked, which I thought was strange, but I didn't think anything of it. I was like, the closer that I get to the roller coaster, I'm gonna just raise my hand and say I'm a single rider, so they move me up to the front. So I'm waiting, it's like 60 minutes in, I'm at the end, and then I realize why it's taking so long. Forget about the metal detectors and the spacing between people, because let's face it, no one is doing the 6 feet distancing. No one. And we're waiting in line for like an hour inside, and of course people are just not adhering to these policies, right? Because think about it. Maybe there are a couple people that were waiting. First of all, the lines are not separated exactly 2 feet. 6 feet apart. They're more like 10 feet apart. So imagine wanting to get into a roller coaster and there's like this huge gap between you and the person in front of you. Like, you're so excited you want to be on the roller coaster and you're getting closer to it. You just want to move. You just want to feel like you're in this constant you have momentum, right? That you're getting closer. You're getting closer to what you want, to the roller coaster. So people are always just moving along as the person in front of them is, right? They're not just standing in place 10 feet behind and leaving that gap. Hell no, you just want to keep moving. You want to feel like you're making progress. So people they're not keeping their distance. And then we get to the end and they ask me, how many people are in your party? And I'm like, 1. It's just me. And they're like, okay, go at row number 4. And I go there and there's no one comes behind me. There's like 4 seats in the row and I'm by myself. And I get in, I strap myself in, and I look over to my left and there's 3 empty seats. And I'm like, what is happening? And then I realize that every party has to have their own separate row. And I'm like, how does this make sense? How? I've been standing in line for an hour, like next to these people. It's everywhere. It's every single ride. I've been standing next to people all day long with masks on, with hand sanitizer on. But you're telling me that I can't sit next to someone in a roller coaster, or at least have 1 seat in between us. And no wonder that half of the roller coaster is empty. And the line is just ginormous to get into this roller coaster ride. And I'm like, that makes no sense to me. And I was just fuming because I got out of the Hulk. And then I'm like, I'm not doing this the whole day. Let me get a fast pass. So then I go to the kiosk. And guess what? The fast pass is $180. I spent $125 to get into the park. You're telling me that I have to spend more money, more than my ticket, so that I can shave time off my day, because you're implementing policies that make no sense. Does that make sense? No, I don't think it makes sense. And just please, somebody correct me if I'm not seeing it in the right perspective. But if you look at the videos that I've taken and the amount of people that are standing in line in these like narrow corridors going into a ride, like logically it doesn't make sense that I have a mask on, I'm outside in a roller coaster, and I have to have the whole row to myself when there's people in front of me and behind me. And I felt so bad. Like I'm trying to have a really good time today by myself, but I felt bad taking up space. I feel bad that because of me, 3 people had to wait more, or there's just a longer line because of single riders like me that are taking up a whole row. And I understand all these policies. Of course, we want to protect people and we want to be safe and we want to make sure that people have a good time as well. That life just, keeps moving along and that we're getting there. That's why I'm vaccinated. That's why we're getting vaccinated. That's why we're putting on masks and taking care of each other. But when things just objectively don't make sense, when they're literally illogical, because everything else is just... I walked into the restaurant to order food today. No one's wearing a mask. The tables are not necessarily distanced 6 feet apart. People are talking indoors. But then the same logic doesn't apply to a roller coaster. So I just wanted to get that out. Didn't think it would be this long of a video, but it is. I actually got some Starbucks to drink. And enjoy my last few minutes in this park before I head out. But I just had to get that off my chest. I had to. And like I said, it could be an unpopular opinion. And that's fine. I welcome the feedback. If you feel the same about certain things that you run into these days, let me know. I would love to hear about them. Because I get it. We really want to keep people safe and make sure that we beat this thing, that it's gone as much as possible. But let's not pretend that by implementing these things that we're keeping people safe. Because if that's only 10% of their day, and then the rest of the 90%, they're just walking around, talking in restaurants without their masks, and standing in line like sardines, then is that policy really effective at the end of the day? Or is it just detrimental to the well-being of, I don't know, the riders because they're wasting more time, because it's just frustrating, and yeah, rant over. Thank you for joining the show. Alright, let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to hear your opinion on this.